Good morning. We begin today with an update on a story that has captured the hearts and minds of so many across the country and indeed around the world. It's the story of a young man, a brilliant inventor, who went silent after posting a very worrying message. Julian Brown, the 21-year-old from Atlanta, who created a way to turn plastic into fuel, had everyone concerned for his safety. His social media, usually active with updates about his incredible work, suddenly went quiet. This silence followed a claim that he was under attack, leaving his followers and supporters to fear the worst for this bright young innovator. The mystery deepened with each passing day, and questions swirled everywhere online. Thankfully, we now have a message from the person who knows him best, his mother. In a recent statement, Julian's mother, Cheryl, has come forward to let everyone know that her son is safe. So, who is this young man at the center of all this attention? Julian Brown is not your typical 21-year-old. He is a visionary, a self-taught engineer, and an inventor from Atlanta, Georgia. From a young age, he showed a remarkable curiosity about how things work. While other kids might have been playing video games, Julian was often taking things apart and putting them back together, trying to understand the mechanics behind everyday objects. This natural talent for engineering and problem-solving became a defining part of his character. He possesses a drive and a focus that is truly rare, especially in someone so young. His journey into invention wasn't something that happened overnight. It was fueled by a keen observation of the world around him and a growing frustration with a problem that affects every single one of us: plastic waste. Julian saw the plastic bottles, bags, and containers piling up in landfills and polluting our oceans. He learned about the devastating impact this waste has on wildlife and our environment. Julian's education has been as unique as his mind. He is largely self-taught, using the vast resources of the internet and public libraries to learn complex principles of chemistry and engineering. He spent countless hours reading scientific papers, watching educational videos, and studying the work of other inventors. This independent learning style allowed him to think outside the box. The invention at the heart of this story is called Plastoline. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it is very real. Plastoline is the name Julian gave to his revolutionary process that converts plastic waste into usable fuel. Imagine taking a plastic bottle that would otherwise sit in a landfill for hundreds of years and turning it into gasoline or diesel that can power a car or a generator. He developed a system that uses a process called pyrolysis to break down plastics at a molecular level and reform them into different kinds of valuable liquid fuels. This process involves heating shredded plastic in an oxygen-free chamber to very high temperatures. This process, pyrolysis, breaks down the long polymer chains that make up plastic into smaller, simpler hydrocarbon molecules. Julian's motivation was simple and powerful. He wanted to solve two of the world's biggest problems at the same time. On one hand, we have a massive plastic pollution crisis. Our planet is choking on plastic. On the other hand, we have a huge demand for energy and fuel, which traditionally comes from drilling for finite fossil fuels. Julian saw a connection where others saw two separate issues. What makes Julian's approach so special is its potential for accessibility and scalability. He designed his system to be relatively simple and affordable to build, hoping that it could one day be used in communities all over the world. He envisions a future where local towns and even individual households could have their own small-scale Plastoline units, turning their own plastic trash into the fuel they need. Turning a brilliant idea into a working machine is a monumental task, one that requires incredible persistence and hard work. For Julian, this meant countless hours of trial and error. His family's garage became his laboratory. He started with small-scale experiments, melting plastics in beakers and trying to capture the vapors. He meticulously documented every success and every failure, learning from his mistakes and refining his process. The first full-scale machine was a testament to his resourcefulness. Julian built it himself using custom-made and salvaged parts. He taught himself how to weld and wire complex electrical systems. The machine was a tangle of pipes, chambers, and gauges, a physical manifestation of the complex process in his mind. It was not a sleek, polished product, but a raw, powerful engine of innovation. The moment of truth came when he was ready to test the first large batch. With his family watching, he fed shredded plastic into the machine, fired up the heating elements, and waited. There was anticipation and nervousness in the air. Then it happened. A dark, thick liquid began to drip, synthetic crude oil. From that oil, he refined clear, flammable liquid. He poured some into a small engine, pulled the cord, and it roared to life. It was a moment of pure triumph, proof that his theory worked in practice. This initial success was a huge turning point. He began sharing his progress on social media, posting videos of his machine in action, and explaining the science in simple terms. His story quickly gained traction, and people were amazed by what he'd accomplished. The path of an inventor is rarely smooth, and Julian's journey has been marked by significant challenges, including a life-threatening accident. While working on refining his machine, a serious incident occurred. An unexpected pressure buildup caused a part of the apparatus to fail, resulting in an explosion. Julian suffered severe burns to over 40% of his body. It was a devastating setback that put both his life and his project in jeopardy. He was rushed to the hospital, where he faced a long and painful road to recovery. For a time, the future of Plastoline was uncertain, overshadowed by the immediate fight for his health. His recovery was a testament to his incredible strength and resilience. He spent weeks in the hospital, enduring multiple surgeries and grueling physical therapy. The physical and emotional pain was immense, but Julian's spirit was never broken. Even from his hospital bed, his mind was still on his invention. The support from his family and the community was overwhelming. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers who had heard his story rallied around him. They offered words of encouragement, prayers, and financial support to help with his mounting medical bills. After months of painful rehabilitation, Julian eventually returned to his workshop. He was scarred, but not defeated. He immediately began redesigning his machine, incorporating new safety features to prevent another accident. This experience forced him to become an expert, not just in chemical processes, but also in industrial safety. The new version of the Plastoline machine was more robust, more reliable, and most importantly, safer. Just as Julian was getting back on his feet and making incredible progress, his story took another alarming turn. On July 25, 2025, a cryptic and frightening message appeared on his social media accounts. The post was short and to the point, stating simply, "I am under attack." This message was a stark departure from his usual upbeat posts about scientific breakthroughs and progress. It sent a shockwave through his large online following. Immediately, concern and speculation began to spread like wildfire. Who would be attacking him? Was he in physical danger? Was this a cyber attack aimed at stealing his technology? The lack of detail only fueled the growing anxiety. Following that alarming post, Julian's online presence vanished. He stopped posting updates, and he stopped responding to the thousands of messages pouring in from worried supporters. This sudden and complete silence was deeply unsettling. For a community that had followed his journey so closely, from his initial experiments to his recovery from the accident, it felt like he had disappeared off the face of the earth. His followers organized online, using hashtags like #FindJulianBrown and #ProtectJulian to raise awareness and demand answers. The silence was deafening, and every passing hour without an update deepened the mystery and the fear for his well-being. Theories about what might have happened began to circulate widely. Some people speculated that powerful corporations in the oil and gas industry might see his invention as a threat to their profits and could be trying to intimidate him or steal his work. In response to the growing public concern and the alarming nature of Julian's social media post, law enforcement became involved. The Atlanta Police Department confirmed that they had received numerous calls from concerned citizens and were officially looking into the matter. They opened a missing persons case as a precaution, even though it was not immediately clear if Julian was technically missing or had gone into hiding voluntarily. Their first priority was to verify his safety and well-being. Others wondered if he was being targeted by foreign agents interested in his technology for their own national interests. A third possibility was that the pressure of his newfound fame and the responsibility of his invention had become too much for him to handle. Without any official information, the public was left to fill in the blanks, and the scenarios they imagined were often dark and ominous. In their public statements, the police were very measured and cautious. A spokesperson for the Atlanta PD urged the public to avoid speculation and to allow investigators to do their work. They acknowledged the high level of public interest in the case, but emphasized that spreading unverified rumors could hinder their efforts. However, the police were also in a difficult position. Without more information from Julian or his family, there was a limit to what they could do. They could check databases, talk to known associates, and monitor for any activity, but they couldn't force a 21-year-old adult to reveal his location if he did not want to be found. Then came the update from Julian's mother, Cheryl. After she released her statement confirming that Julian was safe, but that his location would remain private for his protection, the police provided a brief update. They confirmed that they had been in contact with the family and had received assurances of Julian's safety. As a result, they officially closed the active missing persons case. While they remain aware of the situation and the potential threats, their formal investigation was concluded for the time being. This left the public relieved but still without answers. As the immediate fears for Julian's safety have subsided, the world is once again focused on the incredible potential of his invention. Plastoline is more than just a clever idea. It represents a potential paradigm shift in how we manage waste and produce energy. In a world grappling with climate change and environmental degradation, a technology that can simultaneously clean up plastic pollution and create a valuable fuel source is nothing short of revolutionary. The story of Julian Brown matters because it is a story of hope, resilience, and the power of a single individual to inspire change. He has shown the world that you don't need a fancy degree or a multi-million-dollar laboratory to make a difference. All you need is a brilliant idea, an unwavering passion, and the courage to pursue it against all odds. As we wait for the next chapter in this incredible story, the world holds its breath. We are all waiting for the day when Julian feels safe enough to step back into the public eye and continue his work openly. We are waiting for the day when Plastoline technology can be scaled up and deployed in communities around the globe, turning our mountains of plastic trash into a valuable resource. Julian Brown started a journey to help save the planet. Now, a grateful and concerned world stands with him, hoping he is safe and ready to support him when he returns to finish what he started. His work is too important to be lost.